Tell me what this day means for you.
This means we were right with what we did that night. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's vindication for everybody that was at the crime scene, not just APD, but the fire department, Melvin Stahl, arson investigation, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, FBI, Texas Department of Public Safety. I don't think we would be here today without the discipline and common sense and good judgment shown by the people that were there at that crime scene. You know, who knew, we need to make sure we get as much evidence collected as we could. And that took, my partner, Mike Huckabee, I wish he was here today, insisting that, we wait on DPS because, believe it or not, back in those days, the homicide investigators processed their own crime scene. I mean, you probably know that better than anybody, but
Hearing today that it was the DNA found under Amy Ayer's fingernails.
The fingernails. When I heard that, I mean, that's just one of those chill things because you can't make an excuse about, I call it an excuse, you can't make an excuse about, it's contamination, cross-contamination, yada, yada, yada. No. And it validated what Bob had said and has said over the years that his daughter Amy would have fought. And she did. And that's pretty much standard. That's pretty much standard procedure in any rape case or any murder case. In rape cases, of course, you scrape the fingernails. In a murder case, you clip the fingernails. But the whole thing is, back when we learned how to do it, it was, hopefully maybe the bad guy's skin cells were trapped underneath the fingernails. Now it's called DNA, but fancy name for it now. But it's been done for years, and we did it. I mean,
You had to fight to do it, though. You had to make them wait, and it's because you did that, this case is now maybe being solved.
Well, that was Huck. Huck talked to the medical examiner's office, and the medical examiner's office was right. Once a body gets declared as dead, it belongs to them. And it was Huckabee who managed to talk them into waiting until DPS got there, Irma Rios and her team. And Irma and DPS got savaged at the first trial. Something I haven't forgotten, of course I did too. But, I don't know that we'd be here today without those folks.
Do you want to go be part of that picture?
No.
You're okay?
I'm fine right here.
All right.
It was about me anyway. It was about the case and it was about the girls. I still got the shirt.
You still have the shirt.
It almost sort of fits, too. It still fits. Sort of. Oh my God, yeah. But yeah, the fingernails and that those last four didn't do it. That was the secondary plot as far as I was concerned. You know what I've always said. I mean, on the record as saying, yeah, it's a nice confession. Where's the evidence? Said that about the guys in Mexico. That confession looked good on paper. A couple of wrong facts, but, why let the facts get in the way of a good story?
Don't you wish you had the technology they have today back then?
Not necessarily. I mean, like I said, we used to process our own crime scene, but, we had, I guess, the foresight to realize that the technology is changing, and that's exactly what happened. And kudos to Detective Jackson for sticking with the technology and realizing that processes are changing. Processes are changing, and it's. I mean, I doff my chapeau to Detective Jackson. He stood with it. He made it about the evidence and followed that. And I mean, the DNA is good. Some people say great. The DNA and the ballistics, And that's amazing. There is no doubt. But I feel bad for the 4 kids, though. I mean, we had them. And we were just kind of a bunch of old heads, and we kind of said, those kids couldn't have done this. They couldn't have held on to it this long. And so we had them, and we didn't clear them, by the way. All we did was we got to a point where we couldn't go any further. That's the takeaway. Not that we eliminated them. We didn't eliminate them. I mean, the only way we eliminated anybody is we had the booking sheet when they were in jail. You know, other than that, you get to a point and you can't go any further, and we couldn't go any further with them. You know, they did a few years later. Thought that was great. I'm sorry, just a confession?
Detective, I'm sorry to bother you, but you talked about your shirt.
Oh, you're going to bother me.
Tell us about your shirt.
This is the shirt I was wearing that night when we met when Huck and I, Sergeant Huckabee and I met with the families the next morning. Everybody kind of commented on what a hideous color it was, and they were right. Somebody even said, "You're going to wear that shirt again, that Hawaiian shirt?" I go, "I got this as Shepherd's. Hawaiian stuff's not in their general genre over there." So yeah, I mean, amazingly enough, it still fits. Nod your head up and down. It still fits.
Yes, sir. And you made a vow to yourself, I guess, to pull it back out once this case was solved.
Yeah, I told the families, I said, well, when you see me in this hideous shirt again, it's me because the case is solved. And I made a pact with my kids. And said, you know, if it doesn't get solved before because I've passed my sell-by date, I'm an old man. If it doesn't get solved before I check out, then, you know, you guys are in charge of finding the families, somebody related to the families. I dug it out.
Is there any significance to the hat?
I love Van Gogh. Can I get an amen from the congregation?
Amen.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and get the latest news by downloading the CBS Austin News app.